Hello, I'm Simon from Hope Woodturning, and I'd like to talk to you about my new negative rake box scrapers. I'm going to show you how to sharpen them, very important, and how they work and the use for them. So we'll start with the round one. I'll just take the round cutter off. You'll notice they actually work this way up, not this way, but I'm going to take the cutter off and show you how to sharpen. So just with this little Allen key. The round cutter actually comes with a sharpening arbor. I've just put it in the drill, so I'll just get that mounted up. I actually swap it around for doing the front face, which should only be done now and again. I'm going to show you how to sharpen the front face, but most of the time you'll be sharpening the small undercut to actually get the burr. But every maybe 4 or 5 times you have to do the face, so we'll show you how to do that first of all. So we're going to go over to the grinder. So if you have trouble lining up, you can actually use a Sharpie pen just to highlight, just so you can see where it's being ground. Always use the left hand side, not the right hand side, because it will unspin. So we're just going to use the left hand side here, line it up, and then you can see with the black marker pen that that's all been sharpened. I'm just going to swap that over. So that operation should only be done every maybe 5 times. All the other times we'll just change the platform. Now this angle here is 35 degrees, and we're going to sharpen the small undercut. The first operation puts the burr downwards, we need to put the burr up. So with this correct at 35 degrees, if you have trouble you can use the pen and you can see where you're sharpening, but you have this flat on here, gently take it up to the grinder, spin and sharpen. And you should feel a really nice sharp edge burr on that top, okay, which I can feel. So let's pop that back on the tool. Also I'd like to mention that if you'd like to see how to sharpen it on the tool mech, you can see that with my other negative rake scrapers. There's a video available for that. So for operation, you should have the tool cutting on the centre height. You shouldn't have to really point up or point down, it's just horizontal. So we'll just raise the rest slightly so that we're cutting on the centre line. Speed wise is also important. It cuts better at a slightly higher speed, so I like to cut maybe around 2,000, 2,500 RPM. I've just prepped a piece of wood here just to show you. Very easy tools to use. The whole purpose of them is just to finish. Quite often, even if you're using the carbide tool, or spindle gouge, whatever you're using, it's hard to get a really nice clean finish without the bumps. And the whole purpose of the negative rake tool is it's very easy to use. Doesn't bite and grab like an ordinary scraper. I'm not having to hold on too tightly. And nice and gently, I can just roll that in. You can see we are actually getting shavings and ribbons coming off, and that's all down to the correct burr on the cutting edge. So if you have the correct burr on the cutting edge, you can see it's very easy, cuts very, very nicely, and gives a very smooth finish. Now after a while, it will obviously start to lose its cutting edge. You can obviously just turn it round because we've sharpened the whole thing, but eventually when that goes dull, what you can do is use diamond file, about a 180, and you can force that burr back on. So you can do this maybe twice before you have to sharpen. Yeah, cutting very, very nicely. When it gets blunt and this stops working, then you go back and sharpen it on the mandrel. After maybe 5 goes, then you have to redress the front face. And that's my box round negative rake scraper. So I've just shown you the round negative rake box scraper. I'd like to show you the square version and how you sharpen and use that. This is the actual cutter here. The first angle that you see, which is the big angle, is 50 degrees, and the small one here is 35 degrees. So it's not too difficult to sharpen, but you do need a good platform like the Wolverine jig to sharpen it. You can do it on the Tormek using the same platform, but I'm going to show you with the CBM wheel, which does give the best result to get that burr. So we'll go over to the grinder. So as a little trick, Tormek do this as well for their cutters. It works very well. If you just use a black Sharpie pen to see if you've got the correct angle, just move the wheel by hand and you can see if you've sharpened all of that or just a part. But this is already preset. So if we sharpen this face maybe every 5 times you come to sharpen, you would actually do this face, but I'll just show you how it's done. So upside down, we just do the squares first. Don't worry about the round at the moment, just concentrate getting those parts correct first. Yeah. And when they're done, just very quickly roll that over and blend it in. Yeah, it's a small radius, you can make it smaller, you can make it bigger, but I think this size is about the correct size, so just a quick roll over on that front edge. I'll just quickly swap the platform. Just to save time for the video, I'll just have 2 platforms. So every 5 times, maybe you do this face, but all the other times you'll just do the small bevel one here, and that's just done like so. Again, just do the flats first. Make sure that you've got a nice sharp edge coming up, the bevel, and then just roll over like so, the small radius, and that's ready to cut. Now that it's been sharpened, I just want to show you how it works and give you some tips on to get the best from the tool. Firstly, it cuts on the centre point, so you have to make sure the rest is high enough, so it's cutting exactly on the centre point, and this is horizontal. Speed-wise, I like to cut around about 2000 RPM, so we'll just get the speeds going. And it's a very good tool for getting a nice parallel edge. I have a nice radius on here because I don't like boxes that have a sharp edge in. So when you're making boxes, you can clean the bottom and do the side all in one operation. You can even clean the face, and you can see on end grain you get a nice clean cut, and then normally I just take the edge to clean the chamfer.